Hey guys, Splicewave here, and I'm back again with another Playing PlayStation Home in 2022 video. Now usually I only make this series of videos when a new update has just been released, but this one is not an update. Instead, it is about a whole new build for PS Home, which is now playable on HEN, which means that PS Home Offline can now be played on all PS3s, including super slim PS3s. So with that said, let's get into the video so I can show you what's in this build and how it differs from the other two builds. This build for HEN is what I call a demo version of PS Home Offline, and the reason for that is that it has a lot less content compared to what I'll call the full build from now on. To put it into numbers, the full build is roughly 30GB large, whereas this demo build is only 4GB large, and I've made sure that this demo build is packed with the best of PS Home Offline in terms of spaces and minigames. Now as a heads up, those three navigating menus, including the one that loads automatically when starting up PS Home Offline on the full builds, are not included in this demo build as of right now, as they do not work, and we're hoping to have that fixed in a future update, as well as in the full build for HEN when that releases. More info on that on the end of the video. Anyways, let's move on from me talking about the build and start showing you what's included in this demo build. And to start off, here we are at Loco Moo Moo ship, which has all the mini games that the full builds have, minus the little yellow creatures around here that follow you around. So things like the binoculars up there work, so let's go up there and I can show you them working. And here we are, so if we go over here, press play, we can view Loco Island, change all the angles, see all this and that, see stuff you clearly can't see through binoculars, but oh well. And then we can view the playland still. All is good and all is working. And then if we go down here, we can see that Loco Reverse also works here. So just as an example, as you can see, fully working. And of course all the screen links are here too. Anyways, there's not much else to say other than what I've already said about this space in previous videos, so let's move on to another space. One I had to also include if I was going to include this space as well. And here we are at Lokaroka Island, the personal space itself. What I find interesting about this space in offline is that it's half upgraded, so it doesn't have all the upgrades it can have, such as it doesn't have the hammock at the very top of the tree here, but it does have stuff like that swing over there. And speaking of the top of the tree, because we don't have the lift working here to take you to the top, the only way to reach the top of the tree area is through debug commands, which also work in the full build, such as the F11 key on keyboard, which teleports the player to wherever the camera is, and if you combine that with what F10 does on keyboard, which is toggle free cam, it allows you to reach the top of the tree, like so. So let's try that. So press F10 to go into free cam, and just press escape to get rid of that. And then debug controls, it's left stick to move forward, L1, oh no, not L1, L1's to go fast really, it's just to go fast, R1's to go up, R2's to go down, L2 I don't think does anything. Anyway, so we just hold R1 to go up, and then go to where we want to teleport. We'll just go somewhere like here, and then we simply press F11, brings up this little text box as normal, just press escape, press F10, puts us back, escape again, and here we are at the very top of the tree. And while we're on the topic of these keys that do something, now is the time to bring up that F1, F2, and F3 have been disabled because they do not work properly on HEN compared to on DEX and our PCS3 builds where they loaded or reloaded one of the three navigator menus. Hopefully this can be fixed in a future update to the demo build and in the full build for HEN, but in terms of the keys F4 to F11 as well as the home and N keys, they all work fine in this, and I'll leave a note in the video description of what they do as a reminder for existing players as well as for new players to know what they do. And with that said, let's move on to another space. And here we are at the playground, a space I know a lot of you will be very happy that I've included in this space, and as such, I'm very happy to say that chess also works, but that's not what I was going to say. I'm also very happy to say that the music by the stage over here works too, just like on the full build, as you can hear right now. And of course, it works on the rooftop up there, but I don't need to show you that here. And like in the full build, the horse basketball game over there does not work, but hopefully it will in a future update sometime soon. But anyways, let's move on to another space that has a working minigame in it as well. And here we are at the bowling alley from Home Square. I know, right? You didn't see this one coming. Anyways, this space, like I mentioned before coming here, has a working minigame, and unfortunately, it's not the bowling right now. It is in fact the icebreaker arcade machine over here. So let's go over there and give it a try, as it's been quite a while since I've actually played this game fully. Oh, sometimes it does that. If it flashes, just come off the menu and go back. And now, let's see how long I can last. And hell yes. Okay, I'd say that's enough icebreaker for now. I could go on all day with this, but I'm not going to. Anyways, let's move on to another space in this build. And here we are at IRM Square. Now this, I gotta admit, is quite a weird space for me to include in this demo build, which, like I said, is just the best of PS Home Offline compressed into 4 GB. But the reason I've included this is, one, it's an absolutely beautiful map, don't know why they removed it, and two, it gives the idea of PS Home Offline that it can be about any space from any era, whenever they were removed one day or here the entire time. And that's the kind of impression I want to give off with PS Home Offline. Nothing is off limits in terms of content, it's just what was in PS Home Offline at any point in time. And I think people really like that I've included this space, as, just look at that sunset. You can't come up here and tell me that's not a great sunset, even for a PS3 game. I just really like it, in my opinion. And of course, has all the screen links, has the music playing as well, as you may have heard me coming up the steps, as well as the music up here that you can hear as well. So yeah, adds together for a really nice space in this demo build of PS Home Offline. And then let's move on to one more space before I end the video. And the last space I'm going to show you is this one here, which is of course Central Plaza. And I'm happy to say that both Listen at Home over here, as well as the Salsa Pop minigame over there in the middle there, are working as they should be. So let's give it a try.
This ain't Saturday Night Live and I ain't Travolta.
Didn't post it, got
posted. Ladies flock to spend 100 grand on the watch. Charles bling and swing like a grandfather clocks. Pendulum, what they trying to spend with him? Money and time, so I don't deal with it.
And by default, Chain Swing is always the first song that plays when you load into this space, so any other songs will play after this if you vote for them. And then if we go over to the middle here, we can check if Salsa Pop is working, which it is. Simply click play and begin. As you can see, it's all fully working. Very nice. And one more thing about this space, as you can see, it's the under construction version of Central Plaza, which I chose to give off the feeling that PS Home Offline on HEN, at least its demo build, is being portrayed like this map. It's under construction and it's going quite well. I'm glad I was able to incorporate this space along with its minigames into the demo build so people can see this for themselves in person. Now that's all the spaces I'm going to show you in this video, but before I end this video, there are some things I want to go over. So let's start with me giving a shout out to someone. Shout out to Devil303. You may know him for working on the homebrew software Ultimate Toolbox, who has been working with me on co-developing this demo build, which I couldn't have done without him. So Devil, thank you so much for working with me on this, and if you haven't already, go subscribe to him. His channel link is in the video description, of course. And now for a few quick fire rounds. First off, I'm going to show you all how many spaces are in this build total. There are 36 public spaces, as we can see here, and 6 personal spaces, meaning that there are 42 spaces total, just for anyone who's curious how many spaces there actually were. And there's nothing in clubhouses, by the way. And in terms of clothing, unfortunately there isn't anything special aside from the mech jets, of course. How could I not include those? So aside from the mech jets, it's only got the basic clothing, which I think is alright for the demo build personally, but don't worry, the upcoming full build of PS Home Offline will get all the same clothing as the builds on Dex PS3s and our PCS3, of course. It's just that for this demo build, I wanted to keep the clothing to a minimum in order to keep this build just under 4 GB large without sacrificing any spaces to achieve this goal. And lastly, it's pretty standard to install this, but for those of you who aren't familiar with HEN and would like a tutorial on how to install this demo build, don't worry, as I will be making one over the next few days. Anyways guys, that brings us to the end of the video and I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll have a tutorial on how to install this for those that aren't familiar with how to install PKG files on HEN, so stay tuned for that. But until then, take care and peace.